Hi, I'm the Malt activist, and today we have with us an awesome little whiskey. This is the Kilchoman Festival bottling from 2020. I know I start most of my reviews by saying I'm a huge fan of this distillery, but fact of the matter is I am a huge fan of Kilchoman. But it wasn't always the case. I remember a long time ago, Anthony Wills, who's the founder and owner of Kilchoman, came down to Dubai and he brought with him 4 or 5 expressions of Kilchoman, something which I hadn't tasted before. This is very long ago, maybe over 10 years ago, 9 years ago, something like that. And I tried those whiskeys and for some reason they didn't work for me. You know, I didn't like that flavor profile. Maybe they were too young. Maybe they were still experimenting with a lot of different types of maturations and casks. So I'm not sure. And I remember thinking, oh, how sad. What a horrible little whiskey this is. And then I was like, okay, I'm never going to have another Kilchoman. This is not my flavor profile. But then I was at a friend's house and he brought out this 5-year-old single cask and I was like, hey, what the hell, let me try it. And it was awesome, like just outstanding. And I'm like, geez, that's crazy. And then I went, a little berserk and I started buying up all the Kilchomans I could get my hands on. And needless to say, they are probably in my top 5 best whiskeys that I've had the opportunity to drink. Even their core range, their Machebe and their Lochgorm, 100% Islay, the Saneg, all of these, they're all so nice. And I really like pretty much all of them. And so every year when we do our pilgrimage to Islay for the Whisky Festival, Kilchoman is a must stop. And getting hold of their festival bottle is on top of our priority list because they only produce like 700-800 of those bottles and they literally run out in the space of half an hour, if not less, like 20 minutes. And you have to wait in these long lines and buy like these and register yourself. But ultimately at the end of the day, it is absolutely worth it every single time because every single Kilchoman Festival bottle that I've tasted has been off the hook. It's been absolutely amazing. And this one is no exception. So let's get right into it. Luckily for us, Kilchoman does not color their whiskeys, so this is what you get. Nice golden color. So this particular release is probably the oldest Kilchoman ever bottled. It's 12 years old. And it's made up of 11 first fill bourbon barrels. You have all the information and the cask numbers written at the back. And so it's a vatting of different barrels, all of them bourbon, and served at a lovely cask strength of 54.2%, which is right in my sweet spot. So if you know me, you know that I love cask strength whiskeys, and even more than cask strength whiskeys, I love cask strength whiskeys that are matured exclusively in first fill bourbon barrels, which is why I'm a huge fan of the Lefroy 10-year-old cask strength series and anything that's high in strength and matured in first fill bourbon. So this completely ticks all the boxes for me. Such a beautiful signature Islay nose, the coastal peat and the wisp of smoke. But Kilchoman sets themselves apart with a lovely juicy barley, right? And it's not always apparent in most whiskeys, but with Kilchoman you can really smell the barley, and it's an oily, juicy barley, and that's what attracts me the most. And even though it's a bit sharp on the nose, it has a lovely sweetness to it. It has, these warm, rounded custard and vanilla. Milk chocolate, barley sugar, the lemon and the lime. So overall, just this nose is just perfectly balanced in my opinion, and it has the right amount of spices. So but the Kilchoman spices are more sort of white and black pepper spices, but more importantly, that juicy barley, that Islay grist is, I like to call it. Like, if you go to the distillery, they hand you the barley that's just been grated and crushed, and then when you put that in your hand and you smell it, that's the same smell that you get in this glass, and that's why I love it. I like it. Ooh, so big. The high strength really works a number on your palate, and it's so creamy, it's so custardy, it's so vanilla, it's so coconut. It's just like the perfect combination of flavors that you get from a first fill bourbon maturation, and especially at this high strength. Oh, and the finish just like stays. It just stays. It doesn't go anywhere. Super lovely dram. Almost perfectly balanced in my opinion. There's zero wrong notes in this whiskey, and it's a mix of 11 casks. So Anthony must have really picked the cream of the crop and put them all together and made this perfect blend. Yeah. This is a really good drinking experience, and I have yet to come across a Kilchoman that doesn't work for me. They all, even across its core range with its little bit of taste differences, they all end up working, and that's a testament to the Wills family. So there's Anthony, and then his kids Peter and George, I think, who are just awesome people. They welcome you very warmly and fondly at the distillery when you go and visit them. All their tastings are very personal and in-depth and nice and informative and educative, and it's a family-run distillery, and you get that feeling that this is proudly owned by a family, and it shows. The results are obvious. The product that comes out of that distillery is just top notch. I think they're a little on the expensive side though, because I think this bottle was for about 120-30 pounds, if I'm not mistaken, which is a lot to pay for a 12-year-old whiskey, but it's a festival bottle, it's Kilchoman, you're already there, what are you gonna do, not buy it? So So that's probably the only one thing I would say about this whiskey that's a bit of a drawback. But hey man, if you can charge the prices and it still gets sold out, then more power to you. That's all I can say. So thank you. Thank you for joining me for this whiskey review. I'm the Malt Activist. Until next time, peace.